Good morning, everybody. Beautiful Tuesday morning. I'm waiting for the auction to start up. Well, it is started, but I think the lot I'm going for is about 200, and they're up to number 6 at the moment. So I thought I would do the next part of my kangaroos. So I stayed up a bit late last night, enjoyed every minute, and I fixed up the second watermark and third watermark. So I've moved them all over to ACSC. I had a few there with the Stanley Gibbons numbers on them. So I've updated those. I've gone through all the dies, double checked all the dies. They're all good to go now. So we're going to do a video using my stabilized camera and see how that looks. Cheers. All right, I'm going to start off with the second watermark. You can tell that with those little edges on the side. Very hard kangaroo stamp to get with the second watermark. I haven't got any of the mint or mint unhinged versions of this. Very expensive, but I will keep trying. Hopefully my luck will change. I will zoom in with our stabilized camera so you can get a better look and move our book. Look at that. How enjoyable is a picture like that? All right, these are second or used, and the prices are around $20 each for these 2Ds. But look at that one. The special. Oh, see this, these little bars here. I think that looks amazing. Absolutely gorgeous. These ones here, that looks like a nice stamp too. Beautiful. Now we're going to do the 2.5D second watermark. These are $45 each. Look at those. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Leave it right here. That is a nice cancel. It looks beautiful. I've always liked the 6D ultramarine. Look at that, even just the word ultramarine. Not just blue, but ultramarine. That's a nice sock on the nose. See that? You spend your whole life looking for a stamp like that. It's beautiful. There we go. We've got 9D violet, die 2. Basically, die 2, die 1 is a little mark above the letters here, and die 2 is, if that mark's not there, it's die 2, so they fixed it. We'll go through the dies in a minute. I love that. See that? There's no round bit on the outside. Looks quite nice. There's a pair. Look at the colours. You go, oh, well, I've got one of everything, Geoff. But look, you can just see the colours are a little bit off. Like there, those two are a little bit off. There we are, 1 shilling. How nice are those? It's quite nice with that council. It would be nice right across it, but still nice. And this one is one of the best stamps to get. If you can get these, buy them. Hardly any of them about. Just absolutely gorgeous looking stamp version of this one. I really love this stamp. It's $350, but wow, they'll go up in value, these one. Second watermark, very hard to find. But this example is just beautiful. All right, that's our second watermark done. Let's have a look at our third watermark. See, that's a thinner watermark. The crown is thinner. All right, so we've got 2D. So I've got 2 colours, grey and slate colour. Look, we could argue the colours day and night, but yeah, they are distinctly different. Rightio. So if we have a look here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on camera. I'll try and do this stamp up here. I want to see if we can see the die 1. So this is die 1. So there's a break in the frame. So if we come in, oh, there we are. We can see that now. So if you just look here, there's a break in the frame. That is a die 1. Done. Very nice. And if you go back and have a look at die 2, that is not there. It's quite easy. Oh, let's scan. Let's go in a bit more so we can enjoy the look of these stamps. This here is soft on the nose. Look at that. Number 19. I need to find out all these numbers. I think that's the number, like the post office numbers. But I'm only guessing. I've read it somewhere. They're beautiful. All right, so this one is a cutthroat, $250 stamp. But think the throat of the kangaroo will be cut. So if we zoom in, there we go. Can we see that, everybody? There you go. So the throat right there, is that little nick taken out of it? That's what they mean when they say you've got a cut throat kangaroo. We've got the die 2A. So the 2A, how we tell those, if we scan in, basically there is none of this here, but there is a break in the frame up here. I don't know if we can see that. Well, let's see. Yeah, we can see it right there. See that break in the frame? Up there, near broom. That is die 2A. And here's a used version of that. All right, there's a lot of 2Ds. We've got our 2.5, all right, third watermark, 2.5D. They are mint unhinged, so no hinges on the back. They're all slightly a little bit different colour. Here's mint, they'll have hinges on the back. Die 2, so that means there's no break in the frame here. And we've got deep blue, so that's ACSC 11B. That's the deep blue. You have to admit that that is a lot deeper than that one. And I love that cancel, which was a little bit darker. Some socked on the nose. I've got $25 plus because people do pay a premium for the socked on the nose, like myself. And then the watermark. So this is the end of the paper, and they've got this line it goes through, which is a watermark as well on the watermark sheet. And I just turned it around. It just looks nice. Cost? I don't know. Same as the used version, I suppose. Here we go. Third watermark again. Look at this. Olive green, die 1. So there'll be a break in the frame. Ooh, look at that. Perfection. Look at that. That is just perfection. Perfection. Olive green. Registered perfection. Most beautiful stamps in the world. Less perfection. All right. So this has got a break in the frame, ST. So die 2B normally has a break in the frame, ST, but this has got a break in the frame at the bottom, and it's got a break up the frame at the top, which means it's not a die 1, and because of the break, it's a die 1 with a ST break, so $90. Now normally die 2B, which we'll look at, it's got a break at ST, but also on the inner corner here is a break as well. But this has got both, so it is a proper standout stamp. There we go. Oh, Melbourne 17. 4. If anyone knows what these numbers are, if that's the post office number, that'd be great. And if you could point me to where I can check those, that'd be phenomenal. Because the only way we learn is by working together. Look at that late fee. That's beautiful. Another stock exchange. I love how they do that. I had someone just comment on one of my posts that he worked at a post office and he spent his time trying to get the stamp dead center, socked on the nose. So we'll have to think. I think it was David. Look at this. I used to live here in Bridgetown in West Australia, so that means a lot to me, that stamp. It's a nice blue stamp. Look at that. You didn't believe how long it's taken to find these beautiful stamps. Absolutely gorgeous. Rightio. So 2B, or not 2B. There's no break here, but there is a break at the top. See the ST? Whoops, back the other way. The ST up there, there's a break, and there should be a break on the inner frame to double check. So you see on the inner frame, not the outer frame, inner frame, there's a break there. And hopefully, see there's no break there above the T. So that is a 2B. So the first one is die 1, and this is a 2B. So completely different stamp, and that's why we collect them. If you just collect one, it's like, well, you haven't got the right one. Which one do you got? Sydney 39. It must be their post office as well. Again, just guessing. Rightio. Third Watermark 60 blue ultramarine die 2. What's die 2? It hasn't got the mark there. 225. Look how gorgeous they are. Alright, die 2 ultramarine. What do we got? Oh, we've got a nice Melbourne cancel there. 22. Look at all the different colours, like shades. Look, that's a milky greyish. That's at $50, double the price. I just thought they were washed out. Top right corner. So what we're talking about is the frame is a lot thicker. See how it's thicker at the top right corner, that frame? I'll have to look up and see if that's worth any more. It's on both sides really, isn't it? On both stamps. There we go. Die 2. Black at 6. I didn't even look at these before. What does that mean? Black at 6. I'll have to research that a bit more. I don't know what my mind was thinking. I was up about 1:30 last night doing these. I'm re-going over them. Just beautiful. Time just flies so quickly. Isn't it just amazing? 2B. So 2B is also known as the Harrison plates. As again, ST broken between ST and the little inside frame. And I think die 1's the cook plates. So they're just the name of the printers at the time. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? I've got to get into it. Look at that. Yes, enjoy. Oh, it's put me off because it's not straight. There we go. Perfect. Not as perfect. That's different. That's from a parcel, smudged. All right. Third Watermark, die 2B, and we know what that means, don't we? 2B or not to be. Nice. Pale. Broken leg. Oh, look at that. How perfect is that? Can you see that? The leg is missing in the middle. It's a broken leg. Should be called missing femur or something. Missing knee. It's a nice looking stamp. And you can get a lot of these imperfections in the third Watermark a lot cheaper than other watermarks. Look at that, socked on the nose. That's perfection. Sydney. Very nice. I know I carry on about cancels, everyone, but sometimes the stamp just looks amazing. Especially an old stamp. You know, this is over 100 years old, these things. Look at this pale. Look at that. You can't tell me you can't collect one of each of those. Let's zoom out a bit. Look at that. They are distinctly different, without a doubt. So which one do you pick if you're only going to pick one stamp? You can't just pick one stamp. It's impossible. You have to pick two. And there's a strip of 2. All right, what do we got next? Third Watermark, 9D, die 2. It's a very clean looking stamp. Unfortunately, it's got a hinge on the back. And violet. Look at that. Oh, this camera is so stable. We can just enjoy the look of these stamps so close up. And the beauty about it now too is you can just stop the video when you want and you can have a closer look and go, hey Geoff, there's another broken leg. Oh, that's beautiful. It's a shame about this top here. That's where, you know, it's $375 stamp, but it's not really because of this. People go, oh, I don't want to pay that much because of that. That's probably why I got it so cheap. Look at that. I think when you buy kangaroos, if you're going to spend some money, just get the best one you possibly can afford. Well, just wait until you can afford something better. Oh, look at what I found last night. Snowtown. So if you're from Australia, you'll know in South Australia, Snowtown is where the murders happened quite a few years ago, 10, 20, 30 years ago. So very famous history. So I thought I'd just stand that one out. It's quite good. But that's what stamps are all about, aren't they? Reminding you, remembering you, giving you memories. Oops. Third watermark, 1 shilling, blue-green, die 2. It's quite a nice looking stamp, isn't it? There we go. Look at that. Oh, you got to tell me that these look beautiful. How can you not appreciate them? I've got another couple good ones down here. Look at that, socked on the nose. Look at that. That purple. Is that blue? Purple? Yes, purple. Look at that. That'd be nice if it was a little bit darker. So thin. See, everyone's not going to be able to look at normal stamps ever again now if they're socked on the nose. Oh, I love this. Love that. It would be nice if that was pulled down and that was in the corner. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, another stock exchange. Oh, it's 2B. Some nice looking stamps. And 2B. I don't know if this is, you know, I think, you know, is it a specialised collection? I think you call it a specialised collection of, you call your collection what you follow in the catalogue, because I follow a specialised catalogue. I would assume it's specialised, but not as specialised as some other people out there. They go to the 10th degree. This is nice, another stock exchange. And really, it's just a personal collection. They're going to have to bury me with this. Look at those 2 colours. See that? I'll have to zoom out a bit. You can appreciate those 2 colours. Pale brown and pale brown. I was watching Silk on the web and he said what you need is some colours. So some stock cards with the basic colours that you use. I'm going to have to try and chase that up for the Australian stamps. Because trying to find out, there's like 4 different brown colours. How do I tell? It's just impossible. Half the time it's just a guess. Your best educated guess. I mean, really, one's brown, one's paler in brown, so that's how I've determined them, but there's other colours as well, or other types of browns. Dirty parcel cancel. They must have just scraped the bloody cancel onto the parcel. That was nice, look at that. Someone spent the time. Oh, look at that again. All right, our final stamp in the 3rd watermark is the 5 shilling. These tend to be a little bit washed out, the yellows. Nice, number 6. And then this is quite a nice one. And it's a tail sliced. So what that means is that tail there has been sliced. Yep, look at that. See that? Go back and have a look at the tail over here. See, it's round, so it's all nice and rounded off the end. You look at this one, it's been sliced off, which makes a $225 stamp a $425 stamp. So as long as I inspired everyone now to go get their magnifying glasses and look over their kangaroos again, see if you can find yourself a bargain. Now these are all the missing ones. One day, I promise you, I will fill these in. Hopefully someone is really nice out there and goes, hey Geoff, I'll fill your holes. Anyway, hey guys, so I'm going to go back and watch the auction prices, see if I can get a couple of these lots that I did the videos on. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourself. I'll get back to you later. See ya.